You know what? Let's just do this. I want to do this Jimmy Dore thing first because we have we're going to go to Dave Feldman, and I think he'll appreciate this. Do you know who Jimmy Dore is?
I do. I'm not entirely as into Jimmy Dore as I think you are, but I do know who he is.
Now,
we're real door heads over here.
yeah. Now look, we have gone through, sort of the rot within the institution of one element of the Democratic Party. I mean, look, to say the Democrats, you're talking about tens of millions of people.
Yes, and a ton of organizations that are, some of which are not even completely related to one another. Yes.
Exactly. And, when I read Atrios's tweets about this, it just seems like he is talking about specific groups of people within this institution that is problematic.
Yes.
In the same way that I wouldn't say like the U.S. government is horrible or governments are horrible because right now of who it's populated with. Like there's nothing magical about the shell, the brand, the Democrats. It's not necessarily good or bad. It depends on who you're talking to in any given time. There's been times where the Democrats have been better than others, and hopefully in the future they'll be better than they are now. So I have no problem with the generic criticism of Democrats.
Yeah.
And I don't even care that Jimmy Dore is going on Tucker Carlson's show because Jimmy Dore is, he's an idiot. And most of their, I think, audience is now more or less aligned anyways. But I am amazed at the level of stupidity and the ability to talk about cravenness and to talk about self-enriching without doing your work that this represents. Like the irony here is just delicious. Jimmy Dore goes on. He knows he's going to get a spike on his YouTube show. I mean, he's doing this for, obviously for publicity. I go on television too, and it is explicitly to have the opportunity to do stuff like I did the other night with David Plouffe or, and it doesn't happen that often, but that's why I stay doing it. That will never happen on Tucker Carlson's show. And even in this opportunity that Jimmy Dore has to make one slight correction, he doesn't, because he doesn't know anything about what he's talking about.
That's a compliment. This is all kind of tied together because Russiagate is a result of the failure of the Democratic Party to present a platform that gets people who want to vote Democrat off the couch to vote for them. So they can't actually offer them anything because they're beholden to their donors. The same people who control the Republican Party control the Democratic Party. We don't really have
Pause it. Now, I know, without even having to look, that there is probably not one of the hundreds of videos that Jimmy Dore has made this year that talks about like the restoration of the Voting Rights Act or, I don't know, paid family leave or, I mean, much of it is not as far as I want them to go, but it is in fact.
Just in general, having a political strategy, if you're on the left, of saying Republicans are bad, far-right people are bad, Democrats are also bad, and by the way, progressives who don't align with me are also bad. That isn't a viable political strategy. What Jimmy Dore does gives power to the right because he goes on shows like this on Tucker Carlson. He agrees with him like, oh yeah, Democrats are bad. Democrats suck. Democrats are disgusting. And he only does that. He doesn't represent progressive values at all in interviews like this. And I think some people on the left saw this interview with Tucker Carlson and thought, wow, this is a good thing. But this is terrible. It's being a useful idiot. It's Nico House. It's being all these people who are giving more power to the right instead of helping the left. You aren't going to get a progressive candidate in the U.S. without Democrats, normal liberal people voting for them. It's simply not possible. And anyone who doesn't approach politics with that goal isn't serious or is just being emotional and not being strategic and not really caring about building the movement.
In fact, more than is being offered by the Republican Party. But let's leave that there. That's just low-hanging fruit.
The Democratic Party. We don't really have two parties, right? So they have to do Russiagate and impeachment and all these these circus shows, right? So distract you from the fact that the Democratic Party doesn't represent workers anymore, that they actually represent big pharma, health insurance, the military-industrial complex, and Wall Street. And that's why all this is happening, and that's why they have to cheat.
Notice how Jimmy Dore isn't calling out the right at all. He is just agreeing with Tucker Carlson. He's being the little token progressive for them. He's being like, oh, I'm the progressive. I agree. Democrats do suck. He's not pushing back on right ideas at all. Like, this is so bad for the left. He is so damaging for the left.
Bernie Sanders because he's going to upset their game, their money game.
Yeah,
and that's why they got to stop him before. The first job of the Democratic Party is to stop the candidate who represents the workers, and then and only then can they turn their attention towards
Tucker loves this shit because he does the fake populism thing all the time. Like, I see people on the left, and I used to do it, sharing clips of him being semi-populist, and saying, "Wow, he really owned them, but we're just helping. If you do that, you're just helping him. You're helping him when he runs in 2024 to be legitimized as an actual populist." When we know these fascists don't actually give a shit about anything they pretend to care about. And if they say they agree with us on something like, oh, corporations are bad, we say corporations are bad because they manipulate power, they control capital, and they ruin our economy and, workers' rights. They say corporations are bad because, oh, they censor. Oh, they're censoring people. Oh, wait, TikTok, that's bad. They're from China. Like, there's a total difference. There's a total disconnect in what the actual, solutions are to problems. We might agree that there are problems and agree there are power structures out of our control. But, yeah, the things he's saying about Democrats, you can say are true, but politically, this is one of the dumbest things you can do because you're giving power to the right. Like, I'm not saying these aren't true things, but when you're playing politics, you can't just be like... You can't work with Tucker Carlson and say, oh, the Democrats are corrupt, but not say anything about the right. Jimmy Dore doesn't say one thing about the right. He's more, concerned with hating on Democrats and hating on non-progressives that don't agree with him than he is on gaining power in politics and hating on, the right, the really, really bad people.
Donald Trump.
Now pause it for 1 second. Bernie Sanders got a lot of votes from members of the Democratic Party.
He did, yeah.
Exactly. Bernie Sanders, he got 35% of the vote this primary. He doesn't 35% of the Democratic Party isn't socialist, aren't soc Dems, aren't Democratic socialists, aren't
And if
these are normal Democrats he appealed to.
People are talking about who different people are talking about.
Exactly. I mean, that's exactly my point, is that there's absolutely no care when you are a talk show host going on a major platform. Your language, you should be thinking about what is actually coming out of your mouth, because nobody can see into your dark, decrepit heart. But go ahead.
Donald Trump.
So is that why we never have debates about the tax code? We spend a lot of time on bathrooms. We spend a lot of time on these kind of peripheral social issues. But
we don't have debates on bathrooms. When it comes to trans people in restrooms, we know what the actual facts are. There's not an increase in crime or whatever. They're not, trans people aren't pedophiles like the right likes to label everyone they disagree with. The right makes these issues. The right makes it an issue every time at Christmas. Oh, they're taking Merry Christmas off of cups. Oh, Jesus is dead in our country. Although Christian white males still control every power structure in our country. And Jimmy Dore doesn't push back on this at all.
The last time someone talked about carried interest, can you?
Carried interest.
As Nancy Pelosi.
All right, now pause it. We're going to go back. But I want to tell you something right now, and I say this with more assuredness than anything I think I've said in any recent past. Jimmy Dore has no idea what the carried interest is. Now, maybe.
And there was a debate between Sam Cedar and Jimmy Dore 4 years ago before the election, debating why Hillary wouldn't be that bad. Or why Trump wouldn't be that bad compared to Hillary, because, they're the same. Go watch that debate. Maybe I'll put it up. Jimmy Dore was literally wrong about everything. He predicted fascism would move the entire country more left. In reality, it did the opposite.
Thought, I should really know what that is that Tucker brings up on television. But the idea, first of all, that no one's had a debate about the tax code in this,
it's like Tulsi Gabbard. She doesn't talk about any election security issues other than the ballot harvesting. Out of all issues, you pick the one that the right is focusing on 100%. You don't talk about child sex trafficking unless if it's for the Cuties movie, and you could agree with Ted Cruz saying that the Justice Department or whatever should get into arresting whoever made the freaking Cuties movie, that weird ass movie with the kids that are dancing.
The Republicans just passed the tax bill that literally paid that. I think, what was it that Chase, that Jamie Dimon's outfit was bragging about? They made $3.2 billion.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know what the numbers are. Maybe it was more than that.
And the Democrats voted against it.
Every single one of the Democrats voted against it.
They talked about it a lot. and they voted against. And it was like also it ended up being the very first unpopular tax cut.
In the hits, right.
The thing with the right too is they will support any candidate that Republicans put up. Democrats don't have that luxury. So progressives won't support any Democrat, and Democrats won't support any progressive. So if we have a wing of the left who is unwilling to support the best candidate in elections, that means that we don't have progressives supporting us, but they do have fascists supporting their candidate at all times. So according to that, because we have to have more pure politicians that fit more people that, you know, are more popular with more of our voters, because our voters are more stingy, it is more about purity politics. That was an attack at Bernie Sanders supporters during the primary, but it's kind of true. But we have that on one side, and then on the other side, the right will literally vote for anybody who will get their political, who is closest to their political ambitions.
I can't remember when somebody did. Now, but he's talking, to be fair, specifically about the carried interest loophole.
No, this is from a little bit ago. It's about the Jimmy Dore interview on Tucker Carlson, but I'm watching it just to get a little bit of a refresher before I watch some up-to-date Jimmy Dore videos.
Let's just play this out a little bit, because there's a reason why Tucker doesn't remember. And there's also a reason why Jimmy Dore doesn't. And the reason why Tucker doesn't remember is because Tucker's just a propagandist.
Yeah.
And a liar. Jimmy doesn't remember because he's an effing idiot. All right, go ahead.
Party is to stop the candidate who represents the workers, and then and only then can they turn their attention towards Donald Trump.
So is that why we never have debates about the tax code? We spend a lot of time on bathrooms. We spend a lot of time on these kind of peripheral social issues. But I can't remember the last time someone talked about carried interest. Can you?
Tucker, as Nancy Pelosi is ripping up Donald Trump's speech, she's passing his legislative agenda. So, and also, if you watched closely last night, you got to see her applaud Donald Trump's imperialism when it comes vis-a-vis of Venezuela.
Is he doing anything to push forward progressive ideas or progressive policies, or is he just helping Tucker shit on the Democrats? Is he doing anything to push forward progressivism? No. He's helping the right. He's only helping the right. He's being the definition of a useful idiot. This is literally the definition.
Right? So I know you did good work on Venezuela. We all know these foreign entanglements are just CIA plots to steal resources and give it to American corporations. They admitted so much. John Bolton admitted on Fox News that that's what Venezuela was. So you saw the one-party rule last night. You saw Nancy Pelosi applauding and getting up with Juan Guaido, who is a CIA-appointed puppet leader of the Venezuela. So you saw that's the part I like to call out. That's when they're both in bed with the intelligence community. They're both in bed with the military-industrial complex, and so yeah, you're right. We're not talking about real things.
No.
We're talking about Russia. We're talking about a phone to the
Jimmy
Ukraine.
Dore's strategy would literally get nothing done in politics. He is literally, he's not viable in the political process with this current method. Yeah, we only move left under Democratic control. When Obama was in charge, people wanted to activate. It was like Occupy Wall Street and all that. With Trump and the biggest leftist movement of all time with Bernie Sanders after Obama, after neoliberals failed, and with Trump in charge, it's literally just like, oh, every problem is a result of Trump, and we need to get him out first before we do anything bigger or better.
We're never going to talk about why wouldn't the Democrats had complete control of the government? They gave us a right-wing health care plan anyway. Oh, maybe it's because there aren't really two parties. There's one party in America, and they're both controlled by big business.
All right.
Jimmy Dore.
So, Jimmy Dore.
Jimmy Dore.
Now,
I missed whatever John Bolton appearance in which he said the CIA does coups for resources.
I think he did say something
Did he
to
say
that
that?
effect, but
All right.
but I think I am
Glad you're here, Staraptcraft, I think.
glad that there's that criticism of Guaido and
Yeah.
Venezuela and Nancy Pelosi for doing that, but you can go up there and say, actually, no, I do know what the carried interest tax is.
If you watch that video, you might think Jimmy Dore is a Breitbart reporter. He didn't do anything to say progressivism or push forward universal health care, workers' rights, any of that. He didn't say, Tucker Carlson, you're a fake populist. While he's doing that, he's not calling out both sides. And if you look at his actual channel today, he literally just focuses almost 100% on Democrats, which is one of, like I said, the worst political strategies if you want to create change. We need Democrats to vote for progressives. It's not going to happen any other way. We are very outnumbered in this country. This is a center-right country overall. We need to be able to introduce these ideas to Democrats First, so we can use the Democratic Party as a vehicle as they keep on failing. After this election, holy crap, this is the best scenario right now. After the Democrats do terrible in the House and terrible in the Senate with centrist leading, after this, and Joe Biden barely gets into the presidency, and now Joe Biden is going to be so bad as president, this is perfect. This is the perfect time for progressives to take over and gain a lot of momentum in the Democratic Party. So this is a Jimmy Dore video. How did this happen? The election. He's going to say the Democrats didn't run on any actual issues. True. I wonder how he presents it.
Left side, his right side to his left, and side.
Maybe I'll get ad block.
Again, the results of yesterday's presidential election are coming in. And
Pelosi's
it's
so
a dead
old.
heat between a right-wing racist psychopathic liar and another right-wing.
Georgia and Nevada. So Nevada's supposed to announce something new at 9 a.m., I think, Eastern time. I'm not sure, though. It might be 9 a.m., I think. Are they Western? Are they on the West Coast, or are they Mountain time? I don't really know. But Georgia should be coming, around the same time. Hopefully by around noon tomorrow, we should get Georgia. I'm not sure, though.
Wing racist psychopathic liar.
They're counting as we speak.
Right now in the swing
don't think they
states,
ever
Joe
stopped.
Biden is just a hair sniff away from losing. Why is he
By
so...
the way, if anyone thinks Bernie Sanders running right now would not be facing the exact same issue, is absolutely insane. There's no election scenario where Bernie Sanders would have ran and won every state so decisively that there'd be no counting issues with mail-in ballots during the pandemic. This would have been an issue no matter what, and pretending like Bernie Sanders would have came through and had a FDR type win simply is intellectually dishonest. Although how much I love Bernie Sanders, and I think he would have had a better chance of winning than Joe Biden by far. But still, we can't pretend like, Jimmy Dore is not going to focus on the lack of counting ballots at all during this. He's going to just do both sidesism, and I guarantee he's not going to bring up much about what the fascists are doing right now.
Close. Why is it so close? How could it be so close? Well, in the middle of a pandemic and an economic crisis, Democrats are sweating that they can't beat the incumbent reality TV show game show host. Just to show the Democratic Party learns nothing, they essentially repeated the exact same campaign from 2016, except with a worse candidate. Joe Biden, a demented walking death rattle.
Okay, well, they're probably on pace to win, unless if they lose court battles, win Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, Arizona, Nevada, maybe Georgia. I don't know if this is an accurate representation of what the Democrats have done. I agree they did terribly, but organizing-wise, it was much better this year, especially with the pandemic.
This Delaware Dixiecrat, who should have been retired last century, rehabilitated by Barack Obama and thrust upon the American people, just like the rehabilitated Hillary Clinton. In a primary, using his weight to get the field to drop out and coalesce around the candidate who could barely make it through a debate without his eyes popping or his teeth falling out.
By the way, also, people like Obama, people like even Joe Biden, people like Nancy Pelosi are pretty popular in the Democratic Party. It doesn't help us on the left to say Nancy Pelosi is evil, to say Obama is evil, to say like Joe Biden's evil, to say all these people are evil. It helps us to point out what they're doing wrong. If we focus on their characters and say they're evil, the people who find them as popular will reject us as well. We need to point out their flaws and what they aren't doing for people. Don't just say Obama's a war criminal like you would say to your inner group, your echo chamber on Twitter. Say actual substantial things people care about that affect their lives. That's how you get voters to react to what you're saying and actually come to your side. This politics, like I'm trying to say, Jimmy Dore's version of, I don't know what this is, how to gain power, I guess, in politics, how to gain influence, simply doesn't work.
The Democratic Party hates progressives more than Trump. They fought Bernie Sanders and progressives more than they ever fought Republicans. After a season of people protesting police brutality, Democrats put at the top of their ticket the author of the '94 crime bill and a self-described top cop. The entire hierarchy of the Democratic Party needs to be wiped out. Not because they are a danger to the Democratic Party, but because they are a danger to the nation. Incompetence, cruelty, stupidity, playing politics with people's lives during a pandemic, not fighting to give them help.
Is he going to say one thing about Republicans during this, or is he going to prove my point completely right? Is he going to say one bad thing about Republicans?
Care, not giving them urgently needed economic stimulus.
They wanted to. The Republicans didn't let it through. The bill the Republicans wanted to pass through the Senate, the $1.2 billion trillion dollar deal, the $1.2 trillion, instead of the Democrats' offer, had no stimulus. The Republicans didn't want to give a stimulus. The Democrats did, and the Democrats wanted to provide corporate liability. They wanted to not give corporate liability protection for employees of corporations that get COVID-19. Republicans wanted to provide corporate liability, or remove liability for corporations. So the Democrats wanted to protect workers during the pandemic and give stimulus, and he's not going to bring that up at all. He's going to just shit on Democrats, which isn't right, and it also isn't smart.
All done to game an election for their side. The leaders.
Yeah, exactly, Vortex. It works on people who already agree, and that's, at this point, I mean, we don't need this anymore, right? We already have an activated movement. We need more people to come in. We need to be more about, like, addition, less about subtraction.
Consultants, the vendors. They shouldn't be allowed to show their faces in public again. They should be tarred and feathered. Don't cry for them. They are running off with all your money right now, win or lose. They still get paid. Watch them tonight on MSNBC and CNN. And after years of saying we are on the brink of fascism, the Democratic Party establishment chose Joe Biden, a demented...
Oh, yeah. Jimmy Dore is one of the people who doesn't believe fascism is real. I guess, I mean, Joe Biden's the same as Trump,
babbling kitty toucher who promised to veto
babbling kitty toucher.
Medicare for all during
This literally does sound like Breitbart, by the way. This is the exact patterns the right uses.
A pandemic, who still thinks marijuana is a gateway drug and who voted for the Iraq war, who offered nothing to voters.
If he did a video with, like, Steven Crowder, he would just agree with Crowder the entire time. He wouldn't offer any pushback. I've never seen him, like, disagree with an actual right-wing politician or, like, a right-wing pundit, because he likes shitting on Democrats more than he likes actually being politically viable.
Why is Biden struggling in Michigan? I'm sure the endorsement of the governor who poisoned their children really swung voters. Obama, who is so lacking in decency and shame, went to Flint, Michigan, and told them to vote for his legacy.
Yeah, this was terrible.
After, when Flint needed his help the most,
Obama went to Flint, Michigan, where the lead is in the water, and said, "Hey, can I have a drink of water?" And fake drank the water during a speech in front of a bunch of people whose kids were destroyed for their entire lives because of consuming lead. And Obama drank the water but didn't do anything to fix it. It was all political posturing. It was terrible. It was terrible. But it's like that one meme with in Pokemon when you try to use a bike indoors and Professor Oak pops up and says, "Hey, there's a time and place for everything. That time isn't right now. There's certain times you need to know when to give influence to Dems and then how to rip it away as well."
He had gaslighted them and ran cover for the murderous corruption. But Barack Obama took a break from skydiving with billionaires to kneecap Bernie Sanders getting the nomination, so he cares. The Democratic Party is so lame that they put Kamala Harris on their ticket as VP in hopes she would swing that important demographic of California wine moms.
No, they wanted to pick a woman of color, and it happens that she is a woman of color who doesn't scare white people. As sad as that is, if you are too, as people would say, quotations, too black, people will reject you. So like Stacey Abrams, these suburban white voters might have been scared off by her because racism is so prevalent in our country. Kamala wasn't a great pick, but I know why they did it, because they went with suburban voters. They wanted to swing more suburban voters. And I mean, they did do decent. They got a lot of white women and white men from the suburbs and also more from rural areas. It's just, I mean, it's the strategy they went with. I don't agree with it, but that's what they were doing.
The media failed again. They didn't correct any of their ways since the last election. Polling should be abolished. Campaigns should be about ideas. Corporate media abetted the Democratic Party in not having to face introspection for their losses. All of you who Russiagated, the entire nation was laughing at you. Democrats thought this was a clever distraction from their own failures and corruption. You thought you could turn red baiting into a campaign advantage. You made fools of yourselves. Joe Biden should have never been the nominee.
Well, yeah, we know that they are less less likely to follow the influence of people because of their, big money interest and all that stuff. And, there's stuff called like elite theory in public policy where it's like, are elites influencing policy? Most likely. People don't have much of a say. But when it comes down to two parties, one wants to strip away trans rights, one wants to strip away healthcare from 40 million people and roll back 50 years of climate legislation and policy, it just comes to a point where you have to pick shit, In all of human history, there never was perfection. We're not going to get a perfect progressive right away. This is a long, hard, fought-out movement that we're going to have to upheave from the bottom up. We're never going to... even if Bernie Sanders did become the nominee and did become president, with a Republican Senate and, barely a House, he wouldn't have been able to do much anyway. A lot of what we need done right now is reversing executive order through the White House, and Biden will do that over Trump. That's one thing we have to just do right now as a patchwork and focus on the overall fix in the next 4 years with an actual super strong left. During Obama's presidency, we barely had a left. Now we are ready to go. Like, I'm very confident we can actually do some shit now with what we have grown.
Nobody who voted for the Iraq War should become the president of the United States. The Democratic Party, nauseating privilege and moral piety. The party of the managerial class that was proud to snub their base, proud to serve Wall Street interests.
All this emotionally charged terminology and verbiage, I don't give a shit about. I care about the real-world objective repercussions of one party being in office over the other. I don't care about the Democrats are going to keep screwing you over and you're just going to take it. I don't care about that loaded language. I care about what's actually practically going to happen.
Proud to snub working-class voters. The Democrats are discredited as a party. They are discredited as a party of opposition. They are discredited as a party with purpose. The people need a new party, a party that will fight for health care for all, a party that will be against war, a party that will be for a planet that is habitable, a party that does not serve the oligarchs, and a party that's not bought. Whatever the results, we need to build power. We must...
He doesn't know how to...
fight for the world we want. Peoplesparty.org.
Oh, yes. We need to start another third party. After having the Green Party do nothing for 40 years. We need another third... I agree we need to have an outside party that could work like it can work to get some influence in the Democratic Party and sort of like a coalition building type of thing. But I don't know. This experiment hasn't worked very well. Oh, there you go. But, it did work well. Our progressives running within the Democratic Party and showing people why Democrats were not getting the job done. And those more center voters were voting for our progressives. AOC, probably a socialist and actually, what she actually believes. But SOCDEM is supported by so many centrist people. She is so popular with the regular Democratic voters, even people who are not like revolutionary types, like progressives. That is a huge deal when it comes to national politics. People like her are going to be what actually flips it when we finally are ready. Yeah, it's about viability. The People's Party, I'll have to look it up more. The People's Party, from what I know, is, I think they're trying to overtake what the Green Party was and also be what you're saying, like use it to infiltrate the Democratic Party. Because I saw like Nina Turner talking to John Kasich about like, didn't she have him on her podcast or something like that? Yeah, Dems are making moves to stop more AOCs from happening. So we need to be focused on swinging, center Democratic voters to make sure they cannot prevent that. But instead, we're focused on shitting on Democrats. And if I say to somebody like who's a regular Democrat, who's very in the center, oh, Obama's a war criminal that I hate, they're much less likely to listen to me because Obama is one of the most popular Democratic presidents of all time. You know what I mean? We have to be able to pick our spots of where to be super principled and of where to be strategic with what we say. Yeah, don't support incumbent corporate Dems. Push against them. Reveal why they're bad. Don't just make personal attacks. That's not how voters are going to react. This is a comparison I hate. Buttigieg now wants to count the vote. So, after Iowa, Pete Buttigieg said, guys, tonight we have done something historic. We have had a great victory today. He said something about being like a gay candidate. I was mad at him at the time, but now people are comparing him to what Donald Trump is doing right now, and that equivalency is one of the worst both sidesism I've ever heard. Really, it's a pretty common view on the left too. The inability to tell the degrees of what's happening is a really bad quality to have in politics, by the way.
It's not a stunt. This is not a stunt. I really
No,
need.
no, don't do it.
No, I
Don't
really
do it.
needed a drink of alcohol. I realize this is not a stunt. So Pete Buttigieg went out with our favorite. Do you see what hair dye and lighting can do for you? Joy Behar has looked exactly the same for 20 straight years. 20 years since she was 58. She's looked like this. Now, how old is she? 78. Let me see.
I think
Hey
she's
Siri,
57.
how old is Joy Behar? Hey Siri,
You'll see the thing. They updated.
she's 78. I was fucking right on.
Pete doesn't seem impressed.
I was right on. Ever since she was 58 years old, she's looked like that. She got that gig when she was fucking 58. Most people think their careers are over. Hers was just starting.
Anybody who wants an update on Pennsylvania, by the way, so there's certain numbers that, you know, people are doing like statistics and stuff across the state, so that Biden needs to hit in certain counties. So there's a county called Montgomery County. He is carrying it by 25%. He needed to carry it by 23% with the votes coming in. Lebanon, he needed to lose by less than 35%. He's only down there. He's down there now 32%, which isn't bad at all. And this is a really good picture right here with Philadelphia coming in.
Holy shitstorm.
Hers was just starting.
She can even afford sweaters that just type in her thoughts.
Yeah.
But okay, if Jimmy's goal is to pull Republicans left, what has he ever said to a Republican to their face to move them left? Because every time he interacts with one, like Tucker, he literally shits on Dems. He doesn't say anything about universal health care, workers' rights. Populism can easily be mistaken by and weaponized by either side. So if he's going to go on and just be populist, he's feeding into their narrative and helping them be legitimized as, you know, people who actually care about the working class and all these real populist issues. I don't see any Republicans getting pulled left as a result of what he's doing here.
Why does Pete Buttigieg look like he just came back from a kegger where he tried light beer for the first time? Doesn't he? Okay, here we go.
Pete Buttigieg, openly gay, but a closeted conservative.
Bam!
Nailed it.
Another great line.
Haha. So are most Democrats, by the way. Not openly gay, but closeted conservatives. So, I mean, you have to work with them somehow.
He doesn't think that the ballots after Election Day should be counted. Can he do that? Aren't there laws to, isn't that what this is about? We're supposed to count every vote?
Yeah.
Well, maybe we could just do a coin flip. Because you get it.
Ha ha ha. I am also
Right,
mad
let's be
about
clear,
Iowa
he doesn't
still.
have the authority to do that. He can declare whatever he likes, but this is a democratic country, and we count the votes. Now, I am disturbed that they have this strategy where they're going to court in some of the states, trying to stop some of those votes.
It's
By the
funny
way, we're
that
talking
Pete would
about
say this.
He doesn't
didn't
like
wanna
the
count the votes.
strategies to discourage voters. They don't work like they do in the primary.
Hey, guys, did you know that after one state in a Democratic primary saying, hey, guys, great victory today, when the results are still up in the air, to get momentum moving into the next day and seize the media narrative, is the same as attempting an election coup and saying outright that you won the Electoral College and that there is mass voter fraud, and engaging in, what is that called again, that word of terrorism where you encourage it with your with your rhetoric, but he's encouraging his people to go and ruin the democratic process, saying that all the ballots are fake and they should be thrown out. Is that the same? Is bypassing democracy the same as using a really commonly waged political tactic? Because what Pete Buttigieg did after Iowa is actually really common in political history. It's what every primary candidate has ever done ever since primaries were tiered like they are, with Iowa and New Hampshire first, and they move on to other states.
military voters sending in votes in the mail. We're talking about all kinds of legitimate, valid voters. And look, this is not a strategy that you adopt if you think you're winning. So it's really a sign of desperation.
Well, I understand why he has so many Republican supporters, but I mean, is he doing something to move them over? Would they ever vote for a Bernie Sanders? I would want to see more on this, because if you literally just shit on the Dems, the stuff I've seen in the comments is, I'm so happy how we could both shit on the Dems, although I don't agree with you on anything. Like, is that a good thing? Jimmy Dore isn't running, so it doesn't matter how much they like him. It matters how much he can get other people to like progressive candidates.
Oh, really? A sign of desperation. Who would know better?
He's not even funny. He really isn't.
But
Like,
they've been losing.
people
every
say, like, oh, he's a comedian. He's not really a political commentator. People say this about Steven Crowder, too. Neither of them are funny. Like, all these people who claimed it, like, Jon Stewart was actually funny.
time they've tried to do this in the courts. So I'm confident that votes are going to be counted.
Yeah, they were all for
You
Tulsi.
see that
They weren't even
record
for
turnout.
Bernie.
It shows that these strategies to discourage voters, they just aren't working.
They don't work like they do in the primary, Pete, that's for sure.
You said that 3 times.
Too bad Republicans couldn't run 20 candidates against one, then maybe discouraging voters would have been easier.
They did do that.
Having Pete Buttigieg talk about election integrity is like having Claire McCaskill talking about election victories. Come on.
Again, if you can't tell the degrees in difference from these two things, then, I mean, that's not good.
Pete calling out cheating. Pete Buttigieg calling out cheating. Man, that's like the pot calling the kettle the color of the people that Pete didn't.
If you want to believe the shadow conspiracy stuff, you could say that's cheating. And if you consider dropping out to endorse one candidate cheating, which it's not cheating, or if you include declaring victory to get momentum moving into another state cheating, I guess you could say it's cheating, but it's not. None of that, like, none of that is illegal. None of that is against elections. I mean, it was shitty what they did, but it's politics. Like, it's not a sports game. It's not a friendly game. It's not a friendly wager. We have to expect it's going to be dirty.
Have live in his neighborhood. That's something. That's a dude. You got to pay attention.
He is a accelerationist. He never says it though. He won't admit it.
Pete Buttigieg declares victory in Iowa.
But he uses all the
0%
terminology.
of the vote in.
And he says the same stuff.
Friendly reminder, in case, like the news networks, apparently you forgot. They're just as scummy as Donald Trump. Just so you know. That fucking tool of the establishment.
Just as scummy.
This motherfucking tool of the establishment, this piece of shit is no better than Donald
Have we
Trump.
forgotten how dirty politics is? Like, politics isn't a clean game. We have to be able to fight this stuff. We can't be crying about our loss from eight months ago. We're still crying about this? Are you kidding me? Look into the future. Where can we pick our spots moving into the future to prevent this from happening again? Like, this type of rear view, I can't talk. Mirror staring isn't helping us at all. If you don't watch the road, you're gonna swerve off track. He was a scumbag. I agree, in many aspects. I don't necessarily like him, but many Democratic voters do. And again, if we go up, we say Pete Buttigieg asshole, Obama war criminal, Joe Biden should go die. How about Amy Klobuchar? She's a bitch. Andrew Yang. Oh my God, dude. Universal basic income. That's so unoriginal. Or that's so unachievable. That's so stupid. What an idiot. Tom Steyer, he's a dumbass. I mean, we can shit on Michael Bloomberg. Let's shit on Michael Bloomberg. But all people who think these candidates are popular are going to look at us and say, are you guys crazy? What are you? Why would I vote for you? You don't like anybody I like. We need to use their popularity. Like when Bernie Sanders had ads with him and Obama in it. That's smart politics. Any promising candidates on the horizon for 2024? What is the list? Ro Khanna. Yang's probably going to run again. AOC might run. I don't know if AOC should run. I feel like she should wait until 2028. I don't know. Unless if the setting is really primed. The stage is really primed for her. I don't want her to run too soon before she's ready. Because that might ruin her chances for the future. I don't know. It's weird how all that momentum works. So when are we getting results? I know it's 5 a.m. right now, but... I was looking up some stuff on carried interest earlier. AOC is going to be just old enough. Like, I think she's going to be old enough by like a month. She's not going to be 35 during the primaries, but as long as you're 35 before the actual election, I'm pretty sure you're allowed to run for president. Hey, man, I'm just saying, 17 people at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. is pretty dope. Thanks, guys, for chilling. Don't worry, someday I'm going to have a video go viral. And that 10 is going to turn to 20. Who would have thought Georgia would be this close? Yeah, running for president would be so hard. Really depends, though. When will we know the U.S. election result? Yeah, they would definitely say she's too young. She wasn't born in America. All the typical stuff they pull. I don't want to pay for stuff, dude. Come on. I don't know if Mr. Door posted anything else fun. Shocking election night Fox polls. What America thinks.
I'm getting
What?
I'm getting word that we have a third mention.
No. Shut the flip up.
I'm getting. I don't have anything in my ear.
Uh-oh, you fooled me.
It is fun to do that. Remember they used to do
There
that?
should be
Right,
no
right,
age
right.
floor, really. I mean, if you're
hold on, I'm
talented
getting-
enough to run,
So Fox News did a poll. Fox News.
I don't
exit
think people
polls.
would vote for too young of a
This
candidate.
is going to be stunning. Okay, I know this is going to be stunning. This is a Fox News. Fox News.
Yeah,
exit
the country
poll.
is
You
ageist.
ready?
Yeah.
Fox
yeah.
News.
I
Is it
exit
saw
poll.
ageist or
this poll.
ageist? I think it's ageist, right?
While it was
Do
happening.
you want to change to a government-run healthcare plan? 72% said yes.
All
So
right.
if-
I agree Medicare for All is popular, but when we talk about polling, the things that will get the best results are Medicare for All, government-run healthcare plan, and national healthcare plan. When you say single payer or you say eliminate private insurance for a single government plan, the support drops down typically in the polling data I've seen to below 50%. And if you ask somebody, like, would you rather the ACA or Medicare for All? 60% of voters say ACA over Medicare for All. So we have a lot of work to do when it comes to polling for this stuff. Although, I mean, it's a popular policy, of course, and it's hurt by Democrats being so against it, Nancy Pelosi and the media being against it. Medicare for All is so popular considering the pushback it receives, but we still have a lot of work to do. We have to make sure people know why it's a good option still. We can't pretend like the work is completely done yet because we have a long way to go, but it's still popular. Just this poll doesn't tell us much about that, sadly.
Joe Biden wanted to win this election. Instead of shitting on people to his left, why not just offer people something? 72% of the people wanted that.
See, another thing is a lot of people consider the ACA government-run healthcare. Americans typically don't vote off of policy. They vote off of more emotion. They vote more off of like how they thought the last 4 years went. They vote off of different factors with the candidates, what they like about them. Low information voters decide elections. So it's really weird when you look at polling information. You can't take it at face value. You have to really dig into it. Joe Biden running on Medicare for All, I think would have been a disaster because you need good people pushing policy, especially policy like that is so fringe in America. You need good people pushing it. I feel like Joe Biden running on Medicare for All and then losing the election would have been the worst outcome for progressives because he wouldn't have been able to sell it. He wouldn't have been able to say what's good about it, and he would have lost on it, which would have, told Democratic voters it's a losing policy. Now, it's still up for ambiguity. It's still up for, we could keep on saying Medicare for All is super popular, and we need a candidate who can run on it, and it is a winning policy. As we keep on showing it, House districts being turned by M4A supporters, universal healthcare supporters, and hopefully we get some more Senate spots, some Senate progressives coming in, because Bernie's going to be gone soon, so we're going to need a couple of those.
Good thing Biden didn't embrace would have scared too many people away, huh?
Oops.
Good thing Biden didn't embrace Medicare for All. Would have scared too many people away.
It probably
huh?
would have, because he would not have been able to sell it.
You can't embrace Medicare for All and win an election. That's Fox News.
This isn't Fox News polling. Isn't Fox News? I don't think Jimmy knows that though.
72% of the voters support Medicare for All. Today, they had to choose between two candidates.
No, 72% of supporters of American voters supported what was it? A government-run healthcare plan. They did not support Medicare for All. Those are two very different things. And most people think Medicare for All, by the way. I think 60% of Medicare for All supporters think that it doesn't eliminate private insurance. The moment they find out it does, the support also crashes down like 15 points. So we have to be consistent here. How to read polling. I think these are valuable tools to have because we need to be armed with as much accurate information as possible for our movement to grow and be really, really effective. So we know where we need to focus on.
Do not. Waiting for the day that radical.
I wouldn't want Bernie to be in Biden's cabinet because he's in the Senate right now. He'll be the head of the budget, he'll be the head of the budget committee, head of the budget committee, and also the head of the, it's like the, what was it? The health subcommittee, he'd be the head of that too. He'd be in many leadership roles in the Senate, which is very good.
When elected representatives
Cabinet
consistently
is
and
largely
unapologetically ignore or actively
Sometimes.
dismiss the will of their constituents. Because that is what radical is. Wanting Medicare for all is not radical. It's way beyond being mainstream.
And again, when Democrats are asked, would you rather Medicare for all? Although M4A is very popular and ACA is popular, when Democrats are asked, would they rather Medicare for all or the ACA, 65% of Democratic voters would prefer a candidate who would build on the ACA over a candidate who would run on Medicare for all. That's what the polling data says. We could go over it sometime, but it's like what he's saying right here simply isn't true. And I'm sad that it isn't, but we need to be real with ourselves.
What's radical is Joe Biden stopping it. That's radical. Joe Biden's a fucking radical in favor of the oligarchs. Here's some more of that Fox News poll. What is the question? How serious is a problem is racism in the United States? According to a Fox News poll, 70% of Americans? I'm bad at math.
What do you
78.
mean, 49 and 29?
Yeah, is that
Well, it's 78%.
so? Almost 80% of Americans think that racism is somewhat or very much a problem.
The funny thing is, people on the right will consider affirmative action racism.
Fox News. 8 out of 10 of them thinks that racism is a problem in America. There's another one. What should happen to illegal immigrants? Fox News poll. 7 out of 10 people say there should be a pathway to citizenship. 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10.
That is also what Obama did do, although he also had very inhumane practices at the border. The policy most Americans are talking about is more like Obama's policy. And it's really interesting how Bernie's policy actually shifted over this, on this over the years. He used to be really anti-immigration because, he stood up for workers and he said immigrants would make wages lower and we should pay American workers first. And it's a really populist message, but it's really interesting to see how he kind of like molded into the normal Democratic policy position.
And both candidates want to build a wall. Oh, it's
What?
almost like you don't matter.
What? No, pathway to citizenship on many Americans' minds means a wall too. They just don't want, like, literally, if you ask, do you want a legal... Wait. Oh, okay, just assume
Dave Anthony
things.
says, hey,
I
at
get
least
it.
those kids will be out of cages and quickly deported to their deaths, like under Obama.
A pathway to citizenship
Here we
isn't
go,
for
number
every...
7. Here's another.
That's not what
How
Americans
concerned
mean. They
about
don't
the
mean that.
effects of climate change are you? So according to a Fox News poll, 72% of Americans are very concerned or somewhat or very concerned about climate change. That's Fox News. There it is. 6 and 6 is 12. Carry the 1. Makes that a 5. 5 and 2 is 7. That's 72%.
Then we can look at what the measures pull at. So, like, banning fracking polls very bad with every voter, but transitioning off of fossil fuels polls very well with voters. That polls at around 70 to 78%, but banning fracking, like Bernie Sanders wanted to do, like half the Democratic candidates wanted to do as a result of Bernie and the Green New Deal being popular, that polls at below 50% typically.
How concerned are you about the effects of climate change? That's 7 out of 10 in a Fox News poll. I guess that's why both candidates support a Green New Deal. Oh, wait. Did I say both? I meant neither of them.
Biden's $2 trillion plan,
Here's another one.
Is actually pretty good. It's a small version of the Green New Deal. It does a lot of what the Green New Deal wants to do. If you had to choose $2 trillion versus no dollars, also Joe Biden would reinstitute 100 climate policies over the past 40 years that Donald Trump removed. It's a very good plus. It's a net gain. It puts us in line with what like France and Germany are doing to deal with the climate crisis. A little bit less, albeit, but it's still pretty good. No climate scientist would say, hey, let's roll the dice with Trump again. Instead of getting $2 trillion invested in green jobs and green technology. No one would say that. It's an accelerationist position to say that Biden winning doesn't matter when it comes to climate, if you know how bad
increasing
climate change
government spending on a green and renewable energy.
Biden is doing this.
70% of the
He
country.
is doing this. 2
7,
trillion.
that's 3 and 7 is 10. Carry
can't
the
just
1.
ignore
4,
every
that's
fact.
70% of the country. Fox News poll
It's
say
not far
that we
enough,
should be spending more money on green
but-
and renewable energy. That's 7 out of 10 people. Wow. I guess did they think you meant military spending? There's another one. The role of government. Should government do more? 6 out of 10 say yes, government should do more. I'm sure somebody's getting fired over at Fox News for this goddamn poll.
What?
They're revealing too many facts.
What kind of question is that? What do you think the role of government should be more? What do we get from that poll? Like, you can't just read all these polls and come away with your own conclusions out of it. This is why data is so bad to go off of. Like, stats are so fake. You can make any stat represent anything you want it to. Stats, what's that one quote? Statistics are lies or something like that. I read a book titled that.
Kind of shows how out of touch
Yeah, do
with
more
the
means ban
majority they
abortion.
truly are. I mean, the politicians. Kind of also shows you how we don't have a representative democracy, says Rebecca Bitton. She's making it into the show almost every week.
Wow.
She's a strong tweeter.
Rebecca.
Strong tweeter. There's another one. Donald Trump's approach to Russia. This is going to break your heart. 62% of Fox News poll people said it's not tough enough. Or
Wait, not tough enough. Doesn't that fall in line with like
58%
Russiagate?
said not tough enough.
If they're saying, wait, about right, not tough enough? Well, that's
sad.
That's against Jimmy's narrative that Russiagate doesn't matter
Propaganda
to
still
Americans.
works, baby.
Oh, he's saying
That's
propaganda
weird.
still works. Okay.
58%. You see this? 58% say that of Fox News viewers say that Donald Trump should be tougher on Russia. That's weird that 58% of Fox News viewers get their news from MSNBC. Isn't that weird?
What?
Isn't that
the
weird?
thing about Russiagate is, I agree, Democrats have made it, into a bigger. They've used it politically in a way that ignores a lot of facts about the case. But the idea that our geopolitical enemies are going to influence elections is commonplace. I mean, we do it to other countries do it to each other, other countries do it to us. It's not something we have to just pretend. Oh. If he says anything else wacky, he might gotta go.
I guess Rachel Maddow fans are admitting to themselves
No, Vosh hasn't done a Jimmy Dore vid yet.
that they're actually
Yo, redacted. I don't know if you're trolling or not, but if you keep saying explicit stuff like that, you gotta go, man.
conservatives. Hey, everybody, this is the...
Maybe I'll get if I get up to 100 viewers on a stream, I'll make moderators. How about that? It might happen. Oh, lies, damn lies, and statistics. Thank you, Matori. Or Satori. Fracking does suck so much. God, I hate fracking. I hate fracking and coal mining. Like, those two things killed the Rust Belt. All these corporations came in and just sucked all of the wealth out of the Rust Belt. And now everyone in the Rust Belt wants it back. I'm like, why? Why? Why do you want this back? It hurts you. Stop asking for bad things. Coal isn't coming back. I don't care if Trump digs coal. Literally, even with all of his initiatives to keep coal companies alive, they're all closing. Like Google coal companies closing. Trump. A mock bill banning fracking in high school. Felt good. The coal industry is back. It's not. Where are some shit? I gotta buy New York Times. I just gotta do it. Yeah, my friends were lied to. More coal has retired under Trump than in Obama's second term. Because the issue is, we didn't leave coal. Coal didn't leave us. The economy left coal. Burn coal. Burn coal, warm the earth. Yeah, we're actually just competing to make every place in America a beach. That's why they want global warming, so we could just have a beach on, every American lake and river. Uh-huh. Goodbye, I'm sorry. Yeah. Call the, what is it? What's the number? If you have an issue, call the number. I have had issues before. You gotta call the number, you know. Yeah, Alex Jones on on Joe Rogan. Clean coal is the future. It's carbon neutral coal. That Logic song. Yeah, I don't want to be alive. All right. 4 more hours until I get results, or 3 more hours until we get Nevada results. Maybe I'll just stream like 4 times a day now. What do you guys think? What's a good idea? What's a good like video idea or something to get the YouTube algorithm working for me, so I can get some views and get some reach? I don't have any ideas. I've gotten 2 subs over the past week. Can you all name the 3 branches of government? Yeah, buy an app that would tell you when 270 is reached. I mean, if you get like a CNN app or something and put notifications on, I'm sure it'll send you something. Larry Moe in the Santa Maria. YouTube recommended. There was one that were the 3 starting Pokemons. Hey, we'll know who a president is by maybe Friday. I don't think Trump's legal battles will work that well. Yeah, you just gotta push through the socialist label. It doesn't work. Videos on how to apply makeup. Yeah. Have I tried getting on Vosh's stream? Vosh is too big. If I would have tried to get on Vosh's stream like a year ago, I would have been able to. Vosh is the fastest growing YouTube channel of all time, I think. If you go on Social Blade. Oh. There's me. Getting on the stream of someone else who is a little bigger. Yeah, all the channels I know that have got... Oh, this isn't... This isn't Vosh. What? Excuse me? What if I put... Wait a second. No. Where is he? Vosh? I'll put Vosh V. There you go. Look at that. That's crazy. 2,000 subs, 1,000, 3,000, 2 again. He got 5,000 subs on election day, or right after. Riley Grace. I could get on Vosh's stream as a niche policy guy. Yeah, that's why when I'm actually friends with Destiny on Discord, because I was gonna go on and talk about that. Talk about the polling stuff with Medicare for All and all that, but I ended up not messaging him because the election started. Maybe I'll message him again. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just doing school right now. Maybe I'll be off of school in like a month once this semester ends. By the way, everyone wear a mask. COVID is at like 100,000 cases a day in the US right now. The US reported over 100,000 new COVID cases, the most cases in a single day since pandemic start, and deaths always pick up after. Up 108% in a month. You could expand easily, but policy is a strength if you have. Oh, geez, thanks. Thank you. It's just the polling stuff. If you talked to me like a year ago, I'd be doing a lot of the just sort of being a cheerleader for policies, but now I'm like looking into them really deeply. Like that polling stuff I was talking about, I'm trying to really dig into the details so I could more effectively craft it, because I'm about like political communications and public policy, so I want to make sure our policies are bulletproof and learn how to convince people that our policies are the right policies. Division over local lockdown. Germany and France are having full lockdowns right now. Make a quick PowerPoint about policies. A Prezi. Here, I have a policy, or I have a presentation from a while ago. Let's see. Did you guys hear that through Hassan through donations and stuff on election day made, I gotta take my name out of this presentation quick. Good morning, Red Roger. Red Roger is the local right winger. All right. Oh wait, 1 second. Okay, here it comes. This is on trickle-down economics. Present. Here, can you guys see this? Yeah, America's COVID numbers are crazy. Good morning, dudes and dudes that identify as not dudes. Yeah, so this is a PowerPoint I made about policies. Trump's trickle down with a picture of Trump and Reagan. How long can a disproven economic theory last before it is erased from serious conversation? So, it all started with a napkin. So, while attending a dinner party, Professor Arthur Laffer sprung, it's called the Laffer curve, what you see right here. He sprung an argument for the cutting of taxes. So he's like, all right, guys, how do we give rich people a lot of tax breaks and make it make sense? So his argument is detailed by the Laffer curve, which is basically this. So if you lower taxes enough, if you lower taxes, you actually get more revenue. And if you make taxes too high, there's a point of declining revenue, which this is true. The only thing that isn't true is that lower taxes create more revenue. So the idea is that if you cut taxes enough, I'm sure you all know, then your economy is going to produce so much, it's going to make up for the lower taxes with huge revenues because of, the overproduction. Surging supply side. So economic theory, supply side economics is used to target variables that bolster an economy's ability to supply more goods, seeks to identify variables that will lead to increased supply and subsequently economic growth. Adversary to Keynesian. John Keynes was a socialist. He created more of a demand side approach to economics, which is something like Obama's stimulus package in 2008, and also like the New Deal, giving money directly to people, giving more power to the bottom of the economy, helping the economy from the bottom up instead of from the top down. So that was Keynesian. The Reaganomics Recovery Act. This is the huge cuts to capital gains and income taxes, all that stuff. The Reagan Revolution. We could get more revenue with the deficit going down. So, cut government spending, cut income taxes and capital gains, cut regulations, and cut the expansion of the money supply. Expectation versus reality. Trickle-down effect. So they say, the rich gain more wealth. The investment creates jobs. Higher spending increases demand. Low-skilled workers get paid more if rich people have lower taxes and corporations have lower taxes and regulations. More tax revenue. Not revenue. What did I say? I said revenue. Revenue. Multiplier effect of increased spending, versus reality. They just invest it in their own companies and shit and put it in tax havens. Here we go. Here's some good graphs, top 1%, bottom 50%. You've all seen these before. Deficit is always bad under conservatives and also, boom, boom. Like, look at this, dude. National debt as percent of gross domestic product. Literally, down. Literally, when Bush implemented this is when the debt got bad. The debt was going down, and Bush and Reagan and Bush. I should have said Reagan first because Bush wasn't president until 92 or 88. My bad. I don't know years. But yeah, look at that. Literally, good Republican. Good Republican. Beautiful. Yeah, that's cool. 6% goes to workers. Cool. Don't you love it? Happy birthday, John. Did they call it AZ? You're late? No. Arizona actually went back to a toss-up. Yeah, in Arizona, count the votes. In Pennsylvania, don't count the votes. Love it. Oh, you're on Politico? Hey, poo-poo head? You subbed? To what? DC decriminalized LSD and shrooms. I know Portland did. I don't know if DC did. Did DC? Decriminalize. Oh, yeah, okay. DC voters appear to... Oh my god, I gotta buy this shit. Come on. Oh, mom celebrates after campaign to decriminalize magic mushrooms approved. Montana legalized weed. Arizona voter, the results. Do you know if it's going to go Biden? 75% of DC voters approved Initiative 81. Oh, the results have you terrified. What am I looking at? DC and Portland. Yeah, this is spooky. This is one. Oh no, this is 100% reported. That's actually not good at all. 88% reported, 88%, 84, 84. Ooh, that's pretty close. This is big Trump, big Trump. But it's more mail-in ballots, right? So it should be more skewed at this point. I was zero concerned about a civil war when I thought Biden won, but the Republicans won Senate and Supreme Court. It's going to be 4 years of nothing. That's bad. 4 years of stagnation? Not the good. So these are the states and also the votes left to be counted. Georgia, 2% left to count, 100,000 votes. Trump's up 20,000 votes. Definitely enough to make up for Biden, but it really depends on, the luck of the draw, I guess. Yeah, gridlock, it depends. It can lead to a progressive, but it can also lead to other things as well. Georgia, 2%. North Carolina, 6% left to count. 76,000. Trump is up. Pennsylvania, the 800,000 ballots left over are overwhelmingly Biden. But Trump's up 160K. Nevada, Biden's only up 7,000 with 400,000 votes left to be counted. I don't like that. Why is Alaska so close? What's the AZ count? Wisconsin, Ohio, Arizona. See, that's so weird, though. Winner called a day ago. Estimated vote count, 88%. It's still saying Arizona's called. Do they know something we don't? Are there more? There might be more ballots there. All these sites have different results of like how many ballots are counted. The polar bears came out to vote for the Dems. The illegal polar bears registered to vote. Yo, did someone click dislike? Come on. You people hate the small guys. I knew it. Either a Jimmy Dore fan or Trump fan. Yeah, they want to fight. They'll be laughing when I get to 30 viewers someday. 6-year-old daughter saw Trump on TV and said, "Look at the orange guy. You and mommy don't like this." The orange guy you and mommy don't like. The polar bear is looking for a Green New Deal, of course. People don't get it. Very justifiable. Those polar bears know what they need. What time was this at? 12 hours ago. That's not good. 91% likes, baby. The doorknobs. I'm buying New York Times. I clicked on this. Oh, no, I didn't. Yeah, I did. Okay, I don't know how to use the internet, obviously. If Trump wins AZ and PA, well, Biden's gonna win Georgia, so. But if Trump wins AZ and PA, it doesn't matter as long as Trump wins. As long as Biden wins Nevada. Trump could win every state. Biden needs to win one out of the final states, and he wins. Oh wait, never mind. If he wins AZ, never mind. He needs to win AZ and Nevada. You're gonna hear this. Yeah, you're gonna hear this late probably. I don't know how long the latency is or how long the delay is. If Biden gets Nevada and AC, yeah, it's over. If he can do that. 84% in. It says 100 for Pima and Pima, or Santa Cruz. Phoenix needs to go heavy Biden with these final votes for him to win this. Yuma? Why are there only 5 counties or like 10 counties in Nevada? Is the population really low? And they're all really like shaped weird. Like how bad of a gerrymander is this? How long has this been going? An hour? I wanted to record that Jimmy Dore thing. Maybe I'll upload that. And I'll get some dislikes from Jimmy Dore knobs. I hope you pick someone who has ardently supported the Democratic Party and encouraged people to vote the entire time instead of someone who constantly attacks Biden and discourages electoral participation. Who is this talking about? Who did... Not Hassan, right? Because Hassan said to vote Biden this entire time and encouraged voting. Who was the person that played with AOC and disencourages voting and hates the Democratic Party? Reno and LV are the population centers. Everything else is desert and bush. Is that Hassan? It's not Hassan, right? Pokimane doesn't even talk about politics. I don't think it would have been her. Until 11 a.m., it'll stay at 264 electoral and pop vote stats. On American news sites, Biden is on the left, and Biden's on the right in Japan. Ooh. Wild. Vosh didn't play with AOC, though, because Vosh is banned from Twitch. Did Destiny talk about Vosh at all? Oh, on YouTube.
Destiny when Tim said no. Stuart Keating with the 5 Australian. How tempted were you to mention Destiny when Tim said no left-winger has contacted me apart from you? I didn't mention anything in that moment because when I hear left-winger, I think of leftist or anti-capitalist, and Destiny is, of course, a capitalist. However, regardless of personal beefs, in the interest of broader discourse, I did recommend Destiny to Tim Pool heartily, privately after the stream. I actually just forgot in that moment. If I had remembered, I would have said something at that time. I do think a conversation between Tim Pool and Destiny would be, if nothing else, very amusing and politically expedient. So I did recommend that, of course. And because I saw some people memeing about this, even if I personally rather dislike Destiny and his treatment, just in the interest of like broader political expediency, like what outcomes do I want for this country? Destiny should talk to Tim. Yeah. Like that's an easy equation. So hopefully it actually happens, because I recommended him heartily. Ron and
That's good. Yeah, that would be really good. Yeah, Destiny has sort of a weird way to look at personal relationships. I was watching a lot of his interviews with that one Dr. K guy on Twitch or whatever. The one what's it called? Psychiatric or something like that. Yeah, Destiny's really good for, he's just so vicious. And he is for like, he is capitalist, but he sees his own personal incentives aligning with the world getting better, which is one of the things that is really required to help what we're trying to do. Yeah, Healthy Gamer GG. Look at that cope. Leftist progressive streamer viewership of election coverage between YouTube and Twitch. Hassan Piker's first. Ooh, David Pakman's second. The Young Turks, 74K. Vosh, 35K. Destiny, 30 plus K. Chabo Trap House, 20. Majority Report, only 14. The Serfs, 1K. Benjamin Dixon, 600 plus. It's pretty cool. Destiny is still up there, even though he tried to getting like out of. He hasn't been very politically focused lately. They forgot to include my 20 in the list. Yeah, maybe I don't know. There might be one moment. Okay, sometime when I have 500 viewers on one stream, we're gonna go and spam Vosh's chat, okay? And maybe he'll see it. Or someone else. We'll start smaller. How about that? We'll start... Who's a good smaller guy that's like 100k followers instead of like Vosh level? Destiny would work too. I don't know how I feel about the Serfs or like all 50... feel about the Serfs and also like... I don't watch them at all. I got into a beef with Mike from PA. I said, you've got to realize that 80% of this country is to the right of Destiny. Get out of your Twitter bubble, friend. He said, not according to every poll on the issues, dumbass. So I sent him this comprehensive list of polling, but he just kind of looked at it and said, the poll you linked has a major supporting M4A. You are stupid. You are stupid. You are stupid. And I said, you need to do a full examination of how phrasing the question matters. A very small majority of this country supports Medicare for all, and a minority supports raising taxes and eliminating private insurance, even if that results in lower overall costs. 55% of them voters prefer a candidate who would build on ACA. Less than half wanted a Medicare for all candidate. These polls are done and answered as if policy is a light switch you turn on and off. As soon as you look for a more stable information, the argument falls apart. As a strong universal healthcare advocate, I wish you would approach this conversation in a smarter way. He's not going to change his approach to anything. He's kind of a D-head in my experiences with him, but it just annoys me when people on the left who have positions of like strong viewership usually just play cheerleader and don't disagree with anything and just like have one frame to look at everything. And I mean, that's why they get big, isn't it? Like if you literally have such an agreeable personality and you only agree with this one thing, then everyone who like agrees exactly with you can just flood in and you guys could just jerk each other off the entire time. Well, M4A does have great support, but there's a deeper picture to polling and everything. So we can't be surprised when Bernie Sanders loses a primary, because when voters have a choice between an ACA candidate and an M4A candidate, it makes sense. They prefer the M4A candidate. Or my bad. They prefer the ACA candidate. So like we shouldn't be surprised when that happens. We didn't win the battle completely. Even though, like let's say 40% or let's say 70% of people support M4A, and also 70% of people support the ACA, which are the numbers in the Democratic Party. They both have a 70% approval rating in the Democratic Party, but when you test each policy against each other, the numbers really change. Much more nuanced. Some more news. The movie was so good. Have you watched it? Oh, no. Was Kyle Bernie or bust until this year? Yeah, I was really Bernie or bust too, but I stopped being emotional about it, and I started thinking more like pragmatically about like my decision-making process. Okay, what am I doing? There you go. Book Smarts. Oh, I saw him on Destiny before, I think. Isn't he on here too? Is he on Twitch? Is it this guy? Yeah, I saw him.
Okay.
He was on Destiny before. I think I'd really get along with Destiny because I can kind of like... He hates when people on the left only focus on ideology and focus on idealism instead of like building up their arguments from the bottom and instead of like knowing their actual beliefs and where their beliefs come from. So I think I'd be able to get along with him pretty well. Radical Reviewer. Is he on here too? Biden wants to lower the Medicare for... I mean, I don't think he's going to do it, but... the Medicare age down like 10 years or something to 55, I think, or 60. Radical Reviewer. He has a dog as his picture. I like that a lot. Yeah, I mean, I'm a lot more idealistic than Destiny. Don't worry. Like, I'm still in that whole, like, you know... I still love the movement and all that, but I just got more... I did get more detail-oriented over time.
Of us to know that, like, governments or companies will use, like, international law or whatever to, like, dick each other over for, you know...
Is this his picture?
Profits or competitive advantage or whatever.
Of course.
But I just know, like, Noam Chomsky or... you know, other Michael Parenti, I guess, maybe like other leftists that talk about the problems with, you know, WTO and GATT and stuff, is that it seems to override people's, you know, ability to self-direct their government regarding like environmental protections, worker protections, things like that.
Yeah, it could. That's the only problem I don't like is that that's just one analysis of it.
I like this guy already. You know what? He seems pretty cool. That Vosh Destiny debate on private property was pretty bad. Or not private property, but the Rittenhouse stuff. The Serfs Destiny debate on private property was kind of bad, I think. Yeah, pretty small guy with Destiny and Vosh Connect and detail focused. Yeah, that'd be cool. I just don't know what that one thing is that helps you break through. I've been grinding very slowly over the past year and couple months. Open-minded if he senses that a creator is trying. Yeah, and I'm really young too. I don't know how I feel about Xander Hall's content. I do feel like it's more Vosh light. He does say like the same things Vosh says. And it seems like a lot of his audience is like Vosh's. Or like literally just Vosh's audience or whatever. He seems pretty cool. I don't know how I feel about the dirtbag left thing. I don't really know what it means or like what the goal is of it. Xander's figuring out his thing. Less skilled at debate and more abrasive. Hey, by the way, all these people that play games, I know Destiny's good at games, but yeah, the algorithm is messed up. I'm pretty decent at games. I probably have... Oh, there it is. Insane. Look at this. Look at these sick quick scopes. There's me in the top right. Right there. That Kim YouTube channel has some good ideas, good lefty ideas. StarCraft 2 when it first came out. Yeah, I don't play many games like the point and click games. I'm pretty normie. I grew up on Nintendo games, like Mario Galaxy and Mario Kart for the GameCube and Smash Bros. Melee. Now I just play a bunch of normie games. I play Rocket League pretty decently. See what Amazing is doing with cloud gaming and Twitch integration. We'll be able to game with viewers through Twitch alone. That would be really cool. Games plus chatter is a good ASMR combo. Yeah, I have no idea what he's doing in the game. I don't know if I could do it. I'm probably gonna hop off soon. Stream again tonight. I have class during the day, so I'm not gonna be able to stream if any big results come out for Georgia or Nevada. The YouTube algorithm doesn't share my streams though or my videos. You're old. No one's old. Up until 2 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, I don't get how they do that. I could do that in Rocket League. Iraqi Marxist. Yeah, I'll challenge Destiny to a 1v1 in Call of Duty. Snipe him. I want to get back into making music too. Wow. That's pretty cool. You can do good thinking when slightly engaged. Maybe I'll try to focus on Twitch a little bit too. I have Twitch open right now, I think. I forget. Oh, this is a SpongeBob streamer I watch. I watch Battle for Bikini Bottom speedruns. I don't know. This is an old game. Oh yeah, I have this Twitch up. There's me. But I don't know how to get shares on here. Like I don't get followers on Twitch. I don't know if I don't think my streams get shared to anybody. Our shower thoughts. What's that? He did his best writing during gardening. That is true. Shower thoughts are probably the most impressive thing you can you can have, honestly. You could detect the secret of the universe when you're in the shower. Let's see what's good on YouTube. The neoliberals' comical solutions to our problems. This is Mongolia.
To our neoliberal Hall of Fame. Okay, so we're going to start off with Beguiling Bug, who put these together. So thank you.
Oh yeah, I'll put my Discord link in the chat really quick. If anyone wants to join that, you could get updates on when I go live and all that, and chat in there if you want, or if you play any games and you want to play sometime. I'm guessing there's 13 people here right now, 14 people. I'm guessing since you're just sitting here chatting with me, I'm guessing you might be in there already. Since you're just chilling. Yeah. Oh yeah, that one Destiny video is out. Could watch that. I want to see Destiny's reaction to Vosh passing him, though.
Go live with your mom. Okay, why are you even here? Get the out of here.
I can be wherever the I want to be. I'm an American citizen.
He's like playing an audio file on.
Yeah, but of what? Is that the 10% from Hunter Biden?
Yep.
Oh, damn.
You want to hear it?
No, I've heard it a lot. Are you worried about the $400 million that Trump owes to other businesses now that he's president?
Oh, are you a BLMer?
I didn't say that.
No, I'm not worried about it.
Not at all?
No, I'm not.
Oh, that's crazy. Are you worried that he like has Secret Service people and everybody like staying at his own property in hotels? Not worried about that? All right. Well, tried.
That's good stuff. Is that Israel? Blue Lives Matter.
You idiot! If you knew anything about
They're wearing
running a
masks.
business, everybody has loans on their house, on their business. That's the system of America. But since you're uneducated and probably have no money, that's why you don't know how the system works. You hear me?
It's funny you say that because the Trump tax cuts probably saved me more money than your entire family.
Really?
But I appreciate that.
I promise you that's not. I bet you on my life.
Also, I'm sorry. If you know anything about business, you know there's a difference between personally guaranteeing loans, like what Trump has done, and using them in a business. But that's cool, man.
High IQ shit talk.
Ah, tax cuts for liberals.
Hashtag Biden's laptop
Hey, I like the laptop. That's a fun story.
Yo, 4 of you joined the Discord. Yo,
Biden's
thanks.
laptop matters. Imagine if Donald
4 of you joined. Hell yeah.
Trump did that stuff. Get a $3.5 million check from the oligarch mayor of Moscow. $1.5 billion from China. What if? What if?
Didn't Trump? I thought Trump got impeached for doing stuff like that, didn't
Right, they failed on that. While
Didn't they? I thought they
COVID-19
actually
was
did.
running wild, guess what? The impeachment didn't work out, right?
I thought he got impeached, wasn't he?
No.
Are you sure?
Of course.
Oh, okay. It's interesting. I thought he got impeached. I thought that was
No,
like
he
a big
didn't get
story.
impeached.
Not at all.
He's still in office. No, he didn't get impeached.
Why do we care so much
No,
about
Trump's
Hunter
never going
Biden?
bye-bye until he dies.
Hunter
Then his family's going to be
Biden,
here.
Hunter Biden.
Is Hunter Biden running for
Hunter
president?
Biden's laptop matters.
He does, though.
Biden's laptop matters.
What about
Hashtag.
Hashtag.
Laptop from hell.
Okay, we tried.
Hashtag. Laptop from hell. They found a second laptop today.
A second laptop.
The second laptop?
Holy shit. How many laptops does Hunter Biden have?
3.
Holy, which one is the child
They
porn
got
on?
2 of them.
Oh my God. What happened to Tucker?
And when you see it, guess what? And when you see it, it's gonna be Biden's remorse. Hashtag change.
Biden's remorse. Holy shit.
Well, hey, maybe you guys can impeach Biden like Trump got impeached when he wins the office, huh?
You like to talk bullshit.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, you must be.
He
You
got
must be a
impeached. Trump got
libtard.
impeached.
That's a liberal retard to you.
That's a liberal retard. Then he got impeached.
liberal.
Reality often has a liberal bias. I've heard that.
False narrative from the left.
That's a good quote.
Reality, is that a false narrative?
Reality has a
he's
liberal
the
bias.
president. You've never accepted it, and you want to question the legitimacy of my
Love trucks don't get
45th
shot by the
president.
police, true.
You got a lot of nerve, bro.
A lot of didn't
nerve, bro.
Didn't Trump literally question whether or not Obama was born in the United States?
He's not. He was born in Kenya, raised in Indonesia, and then Hawaii.
Oh boy.
Laptop number 4.
No,
okay?
Love these
I
people.
actually read the biography myself, written on Obama, written in '91. Where have you been?
Where have you been?
Marxist socialist.
I read
know
Obama's
you
books.
are.
That's a lot of buzzwords. I'm
And,
pretty
and
confident
Hunter's
you
a
know what any of those
pedophile,
three things
and that
mean,
makes
but
you a
okay.
pedophile if you
Alright, ready?
Hashtag laptop from hell, because that's where you're going.
It'll be okay. Yeah? Are you looking for something?
Why are you so close to one? What are you doing? What's up? Say hi to your reporters. What's up, everybody? Do you want to dance?
An organic Biden rally.
Yeah.
Yo, by the way, I just saw this stream has 17 likes, which is actually pretty cool for like starting something at 4 a.m., which is actually what you need to start with, like people like you guys to start like this in order to actually gain momentum on here. So if anything ever happens where I have a good video out or something and I get viewers for some reason, it's you guys who help me do that. So thank you.
I don't know, man. Where are all these?
Have you ever seen any rally when he's actually speaking? There's like 12, and then half of them are media.
Well, I think it's because the Democrats are a little bit afraid of getting infected with that disease that's infecting half of Trump's cabinet right now. I think that's probably the issue.
Conservative DJ Khaled.
From other things? Only in America, huh?
Vote for Biden is a
Right now in this COVID, you need to do your research. Go check the CDC. They just recently.
The CDC? You think Fauci would say that only 96?
CDC website.
Yeah?
I lost my voice from screaming.
That's okay.
I'm super excited.
Okay, I'm excited too.
Are you guys Trump supporters? No?
We're talking to Trump supporters.
You guys, hey, we have some non-Trump supporters here. They're Sleepy Joe fans. Trump 2020, that's all I have to
Sleepy
say.
Joe
4 more
fans.
years.
I was at a restaurant yesterday picking up food, and oh my god, this person looked at me, started talking, pulled down their mask. Oh, you can't hear me? Sorry. Oh, let me pull down the mask. That'll help.
Hot chicks for Trump, ugly chicks for Biden. Hot chicks for Trump, ugly chicks for Biden. Trump 2020, Trump 2020.
No, okay, I don't know about you guys, but if I see someone, I don't know, whatever you prefer, like, whatever sexuality you are, if you see someone who you'd usually be attracted to, if they say, like, oh, I support Trump, they go from a 10 to a 0, like 100%. If they support Trump, I do not care how attractive someone is. If you support Trump, you are not attractive. It's just how it is. I don't make the rules. It's literally just a scientific fact.
Why should you vote for Trump?
Yeah, why do we vote for Trump?
Why are you voting for Biden? Answer that. Excuse me. Joe Biden just voted for Donald Trump. I'll answer you. Why are you voting for Biden? I have a question.
Trump 2020. Why are you voting
If you ask them the name of policy, they literally just say low taxes. That's all they say. The wall, maybe.
Why are you voting for Biden? Hell yeah.
Yes,
China.
Trump's racist? You think Trump's racist? What's the definition of a fucking Republican? What's the definition of Republican? What's the definition of a Republican?
What's the definition of Republican?
You don't know. You don't know what the definition of
What's the
Republican
definition of Republican?
What is the definition? Oh my God.
Nice.
All of us
Against you.
No, we're not versus.
It's a conversation. It's not a.
What has Joe Biden done in 47 years? Answer that. I'm asking you. I'm asking you since you're the expert. Since you're the expert.
It's a Trump rally, not a Biden rally.
No, but what's the difference? You're coming to our town. You're coming to our town. You're coming to Megafornia. This is Megafornia. No more California. This is Megafornia, okay?
This is a mega country. This is a mega country.
Yeah, for No Nut November, pretend everyone is a Trump supporter.
Welcome to Megafornia.
Mega country. We have Trump 2020, Trump 2020, Trump 2020.
What has Joe Biden done in 47 years? What has Joe Biden done in 47 years? We're trying to talk to you. What has Joe Biden done in 47 years?
I was going to answer your question.
Answer.
Biden's going to bring the country together.
Find out what is Trump
You guys would have got 94. Crime Bill 94.
Black Lives Matter is a bullshit.
Crime bill. Oh, my favorite argument. Joe Biden wanted to fund the police. Now Joe Biden wants to defund the police. I am mad because Joe Biden wants to both fund and defund the police. I love that conservative argument.
Crime Bill 94. Do you think...
Oh, he just threw water on me. Oh, violent. Why are you throwing water? Guys are hitting people with sticks. Yeah, you guys will.
Walk this way. Walk this way.
Why should we vote for Trump?
What has Joe Biden done in 47 years?
Is she gonna keep on saying that? That's like the argument against Bernie. What has Bernie done in his 47 years?
Where's Hunter? Where's Hunter?
How much are you getting paid to do this, brother?
50 bucks. 50 bucks.
50 bucks an hour?
$50, dude. Project Veritas pays better than that.
Back to mommy's basement. Back to mommy's basement.
I need an alert box on this screen. Okay. So that works. Good. Okay, good to know.
Let's just chill.
I just want to know why to vote for Trump. Seems like a hard question to answer.
You don't have to throw water.
Trump 2020.
Trump 2020. Trump 2020.
Trump 2020. Trump 2020. Hello, I said this one. Oh, yes.
Bernie's been alive since the abolition of slavery, so.
47 years. Let's wait, guys. Let him answer. What has Biden done in 47 years?
That was Beverly Hills? Wow.
What has Biden done for 47 years? No one speaks.
Why are some at Trump rally? I don't want to vote for Trump. That's it.
Yo, 21 likes on a 4 a.m. stream. Real cool.
The question, what has Joe Biden done in 47 years? You came here. You came to our town. What has... Okay, Middle East peace. Middle East peace. Middle East peace. That's it. No. Middle East peace in Middle East. Wow. So you know so much about Trump.
Yeah, Bernie saw the fall of feudalism.
47 years.
Talking about peace for Israel is not peace for the Middle East, my dude.
What has
Middle East is not for America, though. They're very anti.
Black lives. Black people unemployed. Black people unemployed.
They toppled down the federal government.
Unemployed.
Biden was colluding with Nazis.
Black unemployment. Black unemployment.
Destiny's a beast, honestly. I don't care what he like, what his reasons are for believing what he believes. I care that he believes it and he fights for it, honestly.
What has Joe Biden done in 47
If Destiny is creating positive change because he thinks it helps him personally to like live in a better world, great. I think that's great, honestly.
What does my mouth have to do with anything? Trump is literally fucking porn stars. Trump is fucking porn stars.
No. Guys, respect them. Guys, respect them. Maybe he'll switch and he'll become one of us.
I don't have any reasons to vote for Trump
Maybe
yet.
he'll become one of us. Maybe he'll become one of us. 47 years. What has Biden done? Please inform us. And I'll vote for Biden. If you give me 2 things done, I'll change my vote.
No, I'm good. I think I can record whatever the fuck I want to.
Yeah, they literally quote Trump word for word all the time. It hurts me. One New York Post article came out or something saying that there are more voters than registered voters. Some fake news article, and suddenly every Trump supporter was saying the same shit because of the social media algorithms, and they all get shared the same fake news articles. It's so annoying. Imagine if the left had that solidarity in idea or whatever. It's like robots.
How can you be so young and so brainwashed?
All right, see you, man. See you, buddy. Or not, man. I don't know. I don't know what you identify as, but I use that as a gender neutral term. I get yelled at for it, but.
He doesn't have a muzzle like you. He doesn't have a muzzle like you.
Hey, look how easy it is to control Trump voters.
Have a good one. What time is it in Japan right now, actually?
Alright, have a good night. Let him go.
Yeah, and even saying you support small government and Trump is funny because Trump doesn't support small government.
Keep going. Maybe you should get a blowjob from your girl.
What's up, Sarah?
Get a blowjob from your girl.
Sarah's the OG of the stream, I think. Yeah.
Let him go, guys. Let him go.
Why is everybody come around? You can't tell. Yo, you got fucking straight in the eye.
Let him go. Guys, let him go.
Yo, 22 likes on a 4 a.m. stream. Oh.
He's probably a Biden supporter.
People are just waking up now.
6 feet distance. And he's brainwashed.
Serious question, though. Hold up. Serious question. How much do they pay you guys to come out here and do this?
I just want to know why to vote for Trump, man.
You're here to vote for Trump?
I wanted to know why I should vote for Trump.
Why should you vote for Trump? What are you doing this for? Some YouTube fucking followers? Do it for yourself. Stop doing it for the fucking clout. Stop doing it for the fucking clout. Do shit for yourself, not for the fucking media.
He's 30 years old with 5 followers. How old are you? 36?
Trump 2020. Let's go.
Only if they knew.
Still at home with mom? Still at home with mom?
Is that who you're going back to?
Trump 2020.
I don't have a mom.
Trump 2020.
Yeah, you can't tell because you could just have really pretty eyes and look really attractive with a mask on. So it depends. Thanks, Amari. Yeah, 2K. Hopefully, we'll be saying 10K soon, you know?
At least I don't live with my mom.
Or like maybe like 2100. That'd be cool.
I can be wherever the fuck I want to be. I'm an American
Your mom's a
citizen.
fucking Nazi. Get the fuck out. Your mom's a dumb Nazi.
10 on the pH scale is basic. That's a good one. I like that.
Don't touch him. Don't touch him. This is California.
Oh yeah, she can't be attractive. If you support Trump, you can't be attractive. Therefore,
Just as much as you. I have a right to be here. Just as much as you.
Yeah, go to the right side. Alright? You're not gonna bring you're brainwashed.
We're supposed to be better, bro.
We are supposed to be better.
We haven't fun yet?
Let him go. Go.
How How many times have they said that now?
I don't know.
Watch out, watch out, watch out.
Come with us. Come with us. Come with us. Handshakes are with Trump. We'll take care of you.
Well, I don't know. I think eyes in general are like pretty parts of humans. You know what I mean? Like eyes are usually a really attractive part of people in general because eyes are cool looking. Like eyes look pretty freaking cool. Aren't eyes like amazing? Like how did eyes evolve? They're like little like cameras and shit that we just kind of see out of. It like records information and like stores it in our brain and shit. It's real cool, you know? Bunch of different colors. Blue, green, hazel.
As an undecided, look. Haters or lovers?
You guys don't seem very love-filled right now, man. Are you really doing this right here?
24 likes on a 4 a.m. stream. Hell yeah.
Maybe we'll meet up another day. Wait. We're done. Wait, stop. We're not fucking taking these guys on a march.
Yeah, wait.
Guys.
One of those fucking live streamer geeky boys.
Can we
Pokemon Go?
Pokemon Go? Oh my goodness.
Okay, that's
Did you have like a rally? Yeah, go do a rally.
Okay, then don't come back to our side anymore. Go to the church. Pray to Jesus.
All right, guys. You got it. You got the shot. Oh, good.
Yeah. Live stream fails. Here we go.
I don't know. Does anybody want to throw a bottle at me before you leave?
Oh my God. No, come on, dude.
I want to get her number.
You're not gonna get her number.
I would never
You're
do
not her
this.
pimp.
I wish I had these balls.
Why? I want to take you out. Why?
Isn't she's a streamer too, right?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Hot chicks do not go.
Oh, you tried and it worked? You think she's giving up to you? Trust me, she's not. Trust me, she won't even let you touch her hair.
Get the fuck out of here. You can stay here. You can stay.
Yeah, you stay.
You stay.
You stay.
You stay. She won't even let you touch her hair. She won't even let you touch her hair.
We came over here.
Let's go. Let's go.
What are they saying? That's so weird.
Guys, let her go.
Get the fuck out of here.
This is why they're all mad because you know that one theory that all of these white people that turn to white nationalism are really just insecure people from rural areas. But this is Beverly Hills, but like, you know, insecure men, basically.
Are you okay, dude?
Bye, Pato.
Let's go.
Talking about Trump?
Right, let's go.
No, where's Biden? Where's Hunter?
I'm not voting
They
for
don't
him.
have respect for many
Why are you
people.
still talking to us?
Where's Hunter?
Go back to the rally.
Why the fuck are you here?
Because I live here, motherfucker. That's why I'm
You
here.
don't live in Beverly Hills. You don't live in Beverly Hills. You don't know. Oh, you live in the tree?
Yeah, right there. Yep.
The Trump supporter in Beverly Hills,
Homeless for Trump.
representing
Even
their
homeless for
class
Trump.
interests.
We did. Walking forever? How far are we supposed to walk?
Amazing. Did the groundhog come out of its hole?
You say, yeah, I'm a Hispanic. I'm also an entrepreneur. I am also a Catholic. I'm also conservative. I'm also pro-life. I also believe in traditional family. I also believe in this. I also hate Castro. All of these things, when you start saying that and you're a Hispanic, the Democrats in the past have just shut you off.
Yeah.
And they've just ignored it. And again, I try to bring these things up, and I'm like, people get really upset about it. The fact is, let me say it again. Miami-Dade turned out the way Miami-Dade turned out to be because Cuban Americans hate socialists.
He literally just laid out like 15 other reasons that they could not be voting for Joe Biden. They are conservative. They are very, very religious. Cuban voters are. I guarantee those are much bigger factors than the word socialism when it comes to freaking Joe Biden. I guarantee it. They had no good outreach plan to get Cuban American voters in Florida. This is such bullshit.
Let me say
The Castro
that
thing isn't
again.
as big with younger Cuban voters, and Joe Biden sucked with them.
Nicaraguans who've come to America,
Older
and-
Cuban
and
voters, that might be a
Venezuelans
bigger
who have
thing.
come to America, they hate socialism, and you may not like that on Twitter, but you might better just keep your head buried in Twitter and not run Democratic campaigns, because until you understand that, until you understand what Rev and I have been saying for years, that black Americans are conservative with a small c and not woke, not latte liberals.
What is he
as the
talking
rep
about?
says.
Woke?
Until you understand that, you're going to keep getting surprised as this country becomes more diverse. Those votes aren't automatically going to come to you as a Democrat. You've got to go to them and understand them.
But he just blamed socialism. Now he's blaming organizing. Totally different things.
Their lives, how they're living, why they may hate socialism, why they may hate Castro, why they may hate Ortega, why they may hate what's been going on in Venezuela. You got to understand that instead of from...
Yeah, and the polling numbers say that, latte liberals is the term they use, but the polling numbers for younger Cuban Americans versus older Cuban Americans is so different when it comes to like a approval rating of socialism. Wait, who talked about Nick Fuentes? Yeah, but older Cuban American voters care about that comparison. But with Joe Biden, I'm not sure. I'd have to see the targeted advertising in Florida and see the poll numbers again. We're gonna have really concise data after the election is over. Other than I shouldn't be talking about this with just exit poll information because I don't really trust that much. I'd rather have the concrete voting numbers.
Your woke castle in New York City, or your ivory tower, or whatever outrageous imagery we can.
Your ivory tower? Him
you
saying
gotta
that?
understand this. It's a reality. Why is it so important now? Go read the New York Times headline. Hispanics.
Okay, moderate Republican. Trump didn't come out at all last night. Apparently, Trump is feeling demoralized. We just gotta hope something comes through and breaks his back now. He's struggling. We need something to come through and beat a final sweep. Yes, the left-wing mob stealing the election by voting and counting votes. How dare they count votes? That would be so bad. What is a latte? I'll actually Google latte liberal because I'm not sure what the exact definition is. Limousine liberal? Limousine liberal and latte liberal are pejorative American political terms used to illustrate hypocritical behavior by political liberals of upper class or middle class. But he's talking about people from Twitter and saying upper class or upper middle class status when poor people were the people supporting Bernie Sanders. The use of mass transit while frequently using privately owned luxury transportation. Oh, okay. It's rich kids that pretend to be poor and use the lifestyle of poor people. Or rich people in general. Right? No? Maybe? They claim to support liberal causes and then they act completely different. So this is basically the state of Massachusetts. This is what I compare it to. Protesting the Iraq War, yet supporting Tibet freedom from China, which would be even bloodier. Disapprove school vouchers for kids in poorly run urban areas, yet take their children to private schools, therefore avoiding the problems of public schools. I don't mind this as long as they're for higher taxes to fund public schools. But yeah, if you know what all the problems are and you pretend to rep those problems and never actually do anything about it. But, I don't know. Tweet about M4A while getting plastic surgery. Yeah, I don't. It's a GOP insult. Mochaccino Marxists. I'm gonna miss anarcho-Bidenism, honestly. The memes are so funny. I think Destiny shared a couple. I don't know if I retweeted them. Oh yeah, these are all the Trump emails right now. Defend. I warn the nation. Defend the integrity of our elections. The radical left. Breaking. Democrats will steal. Defend our democracy. The president and I need you to fight back. Increase your impact. Defend your nation. Just like I predicted, mail-in ballots are leading to corruption. Defend the election. The stakes have never been higher. So Trump is doing this not only to instigate, fascist movement, but also to get fundraising up and to get people scared because you need a lot of money to bring these legal battles statewide. Here's my Jimmy Dore. How about instead of being smug losers, we fight to keep millions of voters from being disenfranchised? Jimmy Dore is a poison to the progressive movement. Yeah, I was mad at Kyle for not voting.
Awakening. My political awakening came with the Iraq War in 2003, when we basically were lied into a war, and we continued that illegal war. And he was one of the guys who voted for it. And listen, I truly believe that everybody who voted for that Iraq War should be in prison. I think they're all war criminals. It was an illegal war, even according to the UN. And over 200,000 innocent civilians are dead. So basically, I couldn't bring myself to do it because that was the most foundational thing that happened when I was growing up, getting involved in politics, and I just can't look past that. That's not a little thing to me. So now, if you want me to give you my breakdown of the candidates, do I think overall Joe Biden is a lesser evil? I do, because Joe Biden's going to get us back in the Iran deal. Joe Biden's going to get us back in the Paris Climate Agreement, and those things I think are really important. But I just couldn't bring myself to pull a lever, especially because I live in New York, and New York's a safe state anyway. It's not like my vote matters. But I just couldn't bring myself to do it, man. Just couldn't do it.
Hey, don't insult FDR like that. Biden's going to be so much better. Or don't insult Biden like that. Biden's going to be so much better than FDR. Biden's going to be so much better than FDR. Book it. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So I'm probably going to hop off. I'll be on tonight or something. Look at my hat. Black Lives Matter. I want this chat box to be better, though. What happens if I do this? Done. Testing. Now it's all blue. Ooh, I don't like that. That's weird. I'm trying to get this chat up. I'm trying to get this chat box looking cool. Or looking good. Theme clean. White. FDR was elite, but smart enough to give the gov something to the working class. Yeah, socialists really moved him over. John Keynes, Keynesian economics. Font settings. I'll figure it out then. Kamala will be president before the end of 2020. The end of 2020? Yeah. Twitch. Assassination possible? What? You do know Nancy will be the president if that happens. The QAnoners, dude. Hell yeah. Let's go. Chelsea Clinton versus Pete Buttigieg's spare suit. Yo, Buttigieg... I can't wait for Buttigieg to run again. Andrew Yang, Buttigieg. It's going to be like the return of 20... Well, actually, Ro Khanna, AOC, Buttigieg, Nina Turner. She might run. It's so hard for a black candidate to be successful. It really sucks. The reason Obama did so good is because Obama was more of a Republican. QAnon, they didn't do anything to be labeled terrorist yet, right? Font settings. Font color. White. Done. There you go. Why is Arizona taking so long? Muslim candidates, yeah. I think AOC can break through just because of how popular she is. She's such a celebrity type figure. She knows how to rock the microphone. She is more of a rock star type character, like Bernie Sanders was. But you really do need that. Should I like switch this setup? I don't know. Usually people have their chat in front of them, so it looks like they're like talking to chat. But like I have space on the other side of me. I don't think it really matters. But there's this big open space right here because I have my my plaque up there on top of my head. So when he would talk about race issues, he would blame black fathers more than he would blame systemic racism, which is a big Republican talking point. He barely spoke of systemic racism at all. When he ran against McCain and Romney, he barely talked about black issues in general, systemically at least. Really weird. And with Flint, Michigan, he did so terrible handling that. Very soulless, very callous. Flint, Michigan is one of the most disgusting cases because it got so much notoriety, but they still didn't do anything about it. First black candidate had to be a populist Republican running as a Democrat. Ain't that sad? He had to not scare the white people. Too much. Alright. I'll get back on tonight then. Hopefully, by the next time we talk, Joe Biden will be sworn in as our dictator for life. Because that life will be pretty short, so it won't matter.